Hi! Welcome to San Carlos Borromeo de Carmelo, established in 1770 by the old Monterey Presidio, but was relocated to the Carmel Valley in 1771. Founded by Father Serra, San Carlos, often called Carmel, is the second mission in the chain. The Blessed Junipero Serra is buried by the altar in between Father Fermin Lasuen and Father Juan Crespi. Like all missions, San Carlos is made out of wood and adobe. As you can see here, we're in the Basilica. We've got a baptismal font to the left with a picture of John the Baptist above, right after you enter. A few pews down, there's a piano on the right, and the chapel dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary to the left. As we proceed forward, you can see the Stations of the Cross dotting the walls. Moving down, we approach the altar and a small hallway to the left with kneelers. Behind the altar is a huge stand with statues and the crucifix. The original reredos was damaged when the roof collapsed in 1852. Down to the left, there are some chairs and 3 graves. Father Crespi, a friend and colleague of Serra, is to the far left. Serra is in the middle, and Lasuen, who worked at San Diego de Alcala and was elected presidente, is on the right. To the right of the altar is some wood in a box. The wood is from Serra's original casket. As we go through the hall, there are some kneelers with pictures and a door that leads to the courtyard. Let's enter the courtyard. The courtyard is very simple but fairly large. A big fountain, some dirt, and a fire pit are some things that were in the courtyard. Around the courtyard, there's the women's quarters, the soldiers' quarters, and the padres' quarters. The material of the ground is now something like concrete, but in the past, it was dirt. We will now be entering the padres' quarters. Today, this part of the padres' quarters has an empty sarcophagus with Father Serra lying on top and a statue of Father Crespi praying over him. The first 2 rooms by the present-day parking lot are the dining room and the library. The padre cells are very simple. It contains a rack, a simple table, a chair, and a cot. Serra's cell is located where it still is today. He died in his cell on August 28, 1784. Part of the old padres' quarters is the present-day gift shop. Connected to the padres' quarters is the kitchen where we are now entering. The kitchen is where the Indians and soldiers ate. One kind of food the people on the mission ate was a soup called atole. Some of the crops that they grew at the mission were wheat, beans, corn, barley, and peas. They also had livestock including cattle, sheep, pigs, and chickens. Tortillas were served at every meal. The food for the padres was often prepared inside adobe ovens called hornitos. Food for workers were prepared in the courtyard. Let's go into the soldiers' quarters, the room that is connected on the other side of the padres' quarters. The soldiers' quarters is very plain. There are only lined-up cots. The cots were brown. This is where the soldiers rested and slept. In the workshops, I put crafting tables along the walls. These represent some tables that the Indians used when making tools or anything they needed. I also put some chests above the crafting tables. The men of the mission worked in small fields for farming and handled animals. Next door, we have the women's quarters. There are only cots in there, but I made them more spaced out than the soldiers' quarters. The women's quarters is basically a room where the women Indians slept and chilled. Some Indians would try to escape the mission, but there is no revolt at San Carlos. In 1960, San Carlos was designated as a minor basilica by Pope John the 23rd. It was also designated a National Historic Landmark by the National Park Service and is still an active parish church of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Monterey. This was my Minecraft San Carlos Borromeo mission.